done, bro. Wait, where you going? To watch the Full 94 podcast. Can't watch that without me. Wait up, bro. You know Full 94 is my favorite show.
Winning.
A winner, the champ, the best, we are all of them. Cause we went right and not left to not follow them. Sobriety tests, I am walking up in line. Added the sex and the drugs, but couldn't subtract my mind. They all wanted me dead. I was chilling in the cut, then I transformed like I'm best friends with Shia LaBeouf. See, I've been a winner, check it, and I ain't even firing. Church time's God, I'm a product of my environment. We are winners, losers come with me. Got God with us, never letting flesh envy. We don't worry about the money, the sex, the cars, the clothes. Now watch reality unfold like we winning it here, yeah, we winning it here.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Rick Sincere with MTMV Sports, y'all. Normally around this time, it is Monday, around 8:30. Normally around this time, you would see four amazingly good-looking people on the screen talking to you about nothing but basketball, right? I am not them. I am a football guy. I'm only here so I don't get fined. I brought up, I basically said that we would be covering some games, right? We'll do something on site today. It's Memorial Day. So, for all those who are celebrating, Memorial Day, I hope you're having an amazing time with your family. But I'm just here so I can talk to you about the 4 games that we covered this week. And I'm going to get straight into it. If you're watching, you want to leave a comment, I'll respond to what I can respond to. But the basketball experts are not here, right? I'm here, and I'm just going to tell you what I got a chance to see this week. It was an amazing week of WNBA basketball, and we were blessed to cover 3 games on site, but 4 games in total. And that's just counting me, right? C is a big part of our team. C is over covering the Connecticut Sun. They actually came to Atlanta this week, so I'll talk about that as well. But it was a great week of coverage, so let's hop straight into it. The first game that we covered was a Tuesday game between the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever. And that game was a very, very tightly contested game. It was the first win for Coach Carl Semesco. We had a chance to talk to him after that win. We'll drop videos. What I'll do is I'll take this video and I'll, revamp it or redo it and just drop in the little the interviews that we got a chance to do. But over the course of this week, we had a chance to do plenty of them. So you'll see plenty here. The first game, like I said, was Indiana versus the Atlanta Dream, and that was a really good game. Tahina Paopao is probably one of the biggest attractions for fans in Atlanta. They really love her. Before she got injured in the first quarter of the Dallas Wings game, but in this game, she was fully healthy. She came in that game playing extremely I would say well, right? Because she was starting for the first time. She did a great job. That game, she wasn't too effective points wise. She only had 3 points that game. Brittany Griner, though, was the big story of that game. Brittany Griner at the end of the game between the Atlanta Dream and the Washington Mystics, the coach said that so they went to her late. They went to Brittany really late in that game against the Mystics, and they kept feeding her. And they came back in that game and almost, got a chance to win it. Well, coach said at the end in the post-game press conference that he wished he would have went to Brittany a lot sooner. He wished he implemented something. He didn't really put it in until late, but he put it in and he started to go to Brittany in that game. He wished he would have did that a lot earlier. And so in this game against the Fever, they went to Brittany early. They went to Brittany early and often. Brittany ended off that game with 21 points. Ron Howard came through, and she did a great job too. 20 points for her. Brianna Jones is the story of this team. Let me just talk about her effectiveness over the course of the first few games. She went double-double in this game, but she's been a heart and soul player for the Dream this year so far. I know that she's kind of new to this team, but they love her. They're embracing her, and the city of Atlanta is embracing her as well. She's had a double-double at least 3 games in a row before this last game against the Connecticut Sun. So Brianna Jones was a big key to that first game against the first game against the Indiana Fever, and they won it. I mean, hey, I didn't know that this would be the game that they would win their first win of the season, but I mean, it was, and I thought it was a great, great game for them. I saw them in the preseason against the Indiana Fever, and I thought during the preseason game they match up well against this squad. People and if you talk to Indiana Fever fans, those fans are like, why the heck are we playing? Why the heck are we going toe to toe with the Atlanta Dream? Right? They expect to kind of run over the Dream. They did all last season, but this Dream team is different. It's a different squad, and so I mean, hey, you got bigs inside. You have Brianna Jones. You have Brittany Griner. Why are y'all going toe to toe like that? The reason you're going toe to toe is because they can match you. I mean, just straight up, that is kind of what it is. And they did a great job in that game. Let's go to the second game. So we won't be on here long. Normally, when I'm here, you'll see myself and you see the awesome lady at the bottom. Her name is C. She covers the Connecticut Sun. She's very knowledgeable about the WNBA. Like I said, I'm here because I want to tell you what happened. But I'm not super knowledgeable about everything. But I can tell you what I saw in game 2. Here's what I saw. Indiana came to Atlanta. And in the stadium, in the arena, so we're at State Farm Arena, right? In the arena, we got a chance to talk to Caitlin before the game. She seemed calm, ready to rock, right? And you'll see her video. Actually, our interview with her is on our page, so you can go there. I had a chance to ask her a few questions. I actually asked her this. I said, "Are you motivated by vengeance?" And Caitlin told me that she wasn't really thinking about it. She wasn't really motivated by the vengeance. She was just like, I'm not motivated by vengeance, but I do learn from my mistakes. And so they learned from their mistakes. In that first game, they lost the first game to Atlanta. In the second game, they came out a lot better. Now, Caitlin herself did not come out a lot better. Let's just talk about Caitlin's game for a second, right? So if we look at Caitlin in the second game, now what I like about what Atlanta does whenever they play Caitlin Clark is they put Rhyne Howard on her, right? Now, Rhyne Howard is a great defender, and actually, after I would say after this Indiana Fever game, in the post game, one of the reporters asked her, about her defense on DeWanna Bonner, and she was like, "Look, I do this. I take pride in my defense." So, she kind of got upset about it a little bit. She really takes pride in her defense. The thing that she did in this game was she was on Caitlin Clark. And yeah, they got into it. You saw the big viral moment where, she kind of shoved her and they kind of went back and forth. It was a whole thing, right? She really put the clamps on Caitlin. I'll just be honest with you, right? This is the first game, I think, out of what it was, 42 games or so, that Caitlin Clark did not hit a 3-pointer in that game because she was locked in, right? Rhyne Howard, she was not playing with Caitlin Clark. However, if you look at, I put a video up where it shows that Caitlin Clark is being booed in Atlanta, and she was being booed at times. That's true, right? But I mean, it was half and half. The stadium, they sold out State Farm Arena for her, and they went crazy for Caitlin. So it was a really good game. But at the end, I feel like the Fever got the win, not because of Caitlin. Let's just be honest. It's not because of Caitlin that they got the win here. They got the win because of Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard went off in that game, and they could not figure out how to stop her, right? Especially once Brittany went out. Now, let's stop, because we got to talk about the moment when everybody says that Brittany Griner got, she did a, it was a hard screen basically on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin gets, Brittany Griner out of the game. Brittany goes to the bench, and it looks like Brittany says, trash effing white girl, right? That's what it looks like she said. I don't think that's what she said. Now, you can comment whatever you think she said. I don't think that's what she said. What I think she said was trash effing whack calls is what I think she said. And if you go back and you lip read in that way, you'll see what I'm talking about, right? It's more plausible because Brittany in that game and in the Dallas Wings game went after the referees. Like in one game, she left the interview and just chased after the referee for real. Brittany Griner is not. Brittany Griner's a sweet lady. Like, when you talk to her in person, like here, she's really, she's cool. However, when it comes to the referees, she different. I ain't gonna lie to you. She's just different. Anyway, once she went out though, Natasha Howard took over. 26 points for Natasha Howard. The Fever, the Dream actually did okay in that game, but the Fever was just too much for them. The Fever won that game 81-76. We talked to the coach after. We talked to actually both coaches. And I mean, Stephanie White, people have problems with Stephanie White for one reason or another. And I really don't understand you guys' problem with Stephanie White. Maybe y'all know. Put it in a comment. I don't know what's your problem with Stephanie White. She is a awesome coach. We talked to her before and after the game. Every time talking to Stephanie White, I hear the basketball knowledge she has. She is amazing when it comes to just basketball knowledge and strategy. And the way she approaches her coaching, I mean, granted, I did like Christy Sides and I liked the offense that they ran because they were more fast-paced offense. So Caitlin was allowed to, really get loose and get free. And their offense put a lot of pressure on defenses. I really like that. However, I like Stephanie White. I think she's a great coach. And for those of you in the comment section who are saying different, I'm sorry, I can't agree with you. I've spoken to her. I've seen her in action. I like her. And I like where I think this Fever team is headed. So, man, 2 games against the Fever. Atlanta, split the series 1-1. Great job for Atlanta. Who were the stars in this? The stars, Brianna Jones, consistently double-double in both of those games for Bree Jones. So if you're looking at how BG and Brianna are going to hang out or do well in this Atlanta offense, they're doing well, very well together. And I'm loving what I'm seeing from them. Now, after these 2 games, there was a lot of moments in that game, right? There was and I dropped this video too, the flop moment. Caitlin has been flopping. Can we be honest about that? Caitlin has been flopping and at a more consistent level. At this point, she's been like, okay, in one instance, Rhyne Howard grabbed her around the hip and she actually made it look like Rhyne Howard pulled her hair. She's been flopping, but she's been flopping because, to Stephanie White's point, they haven't been getting a lot of calls. I dropped a video on that too. She said they haven't been getting the calls. They said there's a discrepancy between the way they're being handled and the rest of the league. So I know why Caitlin's been flopping. So, you can say that she hasn't been flopping, whatever. I saw you on the comments. She learned from the best. She's been watching too much LeBron. Y'all see all kind of stuff in the comment section. But Caitlin has been flopping. There's a reason for it. It's because she's not getting the calls that she wants to get right now. So she's trying to emphasize that. Problem though, for all your the Indiana Fever fans, for everybody, y'all, Caitlin is out. I think she's out for 2 weeks. She should be out for 2 weeks. So while Caitlin's out, I really want to see who steps up. I think it's going to be Mitchell. If anybody steps up to the plate, it's going to be Mitchell. And Mitchell is amazing. She's amazing. And another thing, I'll just leave. This is my last thing I'll say about this. Natasha Howard talked about that first game. Now, in the first game against the Atlanta Dream, Natasha Howard left that game with only 6 points, right? She played for 29 minutes and only left with 6 points. And you did not see the full range of her game in that first one. She said that she was in her head too much. And this is what she said in the post game. She was in her head too much. She wasn't really being herself. She had to calm down. She had to go and meditate. She talked about, I need to meditate. I need to calm down. In that second game against the Dream, hey, whatever the meditation, whatever that's doing for you, ma'am, do your thing. You feel me? 26 points in the next game. She really, really showed out. All right, now let's move on. And this is where I kind of wrap it up. The next 2 games were not headline games. They're not everything. I'll give you something special about each game, and then I'll wrap it up here. But the Dallas Wings game, we had a chance to talk to Paige Beckers before that game. Paige is pretty cool. Paige is a really, really chill individual. So I'm on the court and I see Paige Beckers talking to Rhyne Howard, right? And I see them interacting. I didn't even know they were cool like that, but I saw them interacting before the game. They dap up, they smile at each other. She walks off. She's then talking to one media member. I'm seeing Paige Beckers right here. And I'm like, yo, I took a picture. I was going to kind of move on. The media lady was like, hey, do you want more? Like, do you want to actually, do an interview? And I said, yeah. So I just took my camera. I go over to Paige Beckers and she didn't trip. She just, she acknowledged me. And then we hop straight into the interview. She was so cool, man. At one of her teammates walked by. She shared a laugh with her teammates. She's a really, really cool soul. One thing I am loving about her, though, and she mentioned this in her interview, is that one, she's learning from the veterans. And I posted this video too, and people were kind of upset. They call it clickbait or whatever, right? I said there's one major difference between Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. There is one major difference. And one of the differences is midway through last season, a reporter asked Caitlin Clark straight up, what are the veterans sharing with you? What have you learned from the veterans? And Caitlin Clark said, they don't really talk to me, or they're not really talking to me. At that point, Cameron Brink had already talked about how much she was learning from the veterans. Angel Reese had already talked about how much she was learning from the veterans, but Caitlin Clark herself wasn't getting much of that, welcome or that reception, right? Well, Paige is different in that way. The reception for Paige has been amazing. They're loving Paige. They're embracing her, and they're sharing a lot of insight and knowledge with Paige Beckers. And so because of that, that's a major difference between Paige Beckers and Caitlin. Now, the other difference is Caitlin's having a whole lot more success than Paige is. Just to start off right now, the Dallas Wings are 0-4. They came into this game and they really looked good to start. Paige is a very talented player. Let's just start there. She had 11 points in this game, but if you just watch the way she moves around the court, if you watch the way she handles herself on the court, she's doing very well. I love what I'm seeing from Paige Beckers, and they're going to have to really, get there, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from Paige Beckers. So far, she's doing an incredible job. But they were not able to overcome what the Dream was bringing to the court. It's just as simple as that. The Dream was just too much for the Dallas Wings. Who went off in this game? Brittany had a decent game, but Alicia Gray, man, hey, when she's on the court, when they introduce her, they call her a bucket. They call her a bucket for a reason, man. Alicia Gray is a problem, straight up. Alicia Gray is a problem, and she has been one throughout the course of all the games I'm talking about. I didn't even mention her in the other two Fever games, but in this Wings game, man, she went off, and she went off on a day where Ron Howard wasn't really feeling it too much. Ron Howard played 38 minutes, but only left with 9 points. Alicia Gray left with 27 points. She was a dog, and she really is, and I love the fact that she takes that scoring, mantle on. She'll take it on. If you won't do it, she will. Problem with this game. I'll wrap this here. The problem with this game against the Wings, Tahina Pow went out. So now they're down Tahina Pow, and they're down their other point guard, Jordan Canada. So they're down Jordan Canada too. Being down both of those point guards last year would have destroyed this Dream team. Done. They would have been finished, right? But the reason they're not done now is because they have a pretty deep roster, right? Shatora Walker Kimbrough, and Shatora, if I'm saying your name, wrong, just go with SWK. She is a great player, somebody who can really step up when needed. Ron Howard can take the point as well. When Tahina went out, right? A person who they leaned on was Shatoria Walker Kimbrough. Another person they leaned on, Maya Caldwell. I'm sorry, Maya Caldwell. And we interviewed her after the game too, and you can see that interview on our page as well. She's a beast, right? She talked about one, staying ready. And then she talked about how she keeps staying on a WNBA roster and how hard that is. And she talked about her faith and how much God plays a role in her staying on these rosters. So that wraps up that game. The Atlanta Dream killed the Dallas Wings. Then they went to the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun came in town. And I'll be honest with you, this was a game where I was like, okay, I kind of knew the outcome before the game started, and that's not normal with the WNBA, and that's why I love the WNBA. It's the intrigue. It's that I really don't know who's going to win. Anybody can win on any given night. I love that about the WNBA. The other thing, I love is the fact that the competition is always really, really high. However, in this matchup, I figured that the Dream would win this one, and I wasn't wrong. Right before the game, the PR staff for the Dream, they talked to us, said BG Brittany Griner would be out, right? And she was going to be out during that game. So right before the game, I'm like, oh snap, with Tina Charles in, and I watched Tina Charles, and she is one of the major stars right now for the Sun. I watched her in pregame, and she looks really good. She looks like she is moving very well. She was shooting very well pregame, all that stuff, right? When I watched her, I said, oh snap, without BG, Tina's about to go off. A reporter came up to me and she said, don't worry. I said, why not? Because BG's out. She said, don't worry. Nas got it. I said, what you mean? Nas Hillman plays for the Atlanta Dream. She has been one of the major leaders for that squad. And then said, Nas got it. She's going to handle business against Tina. I said, can she handle Tina? She said, yeah, don't worry about it. Guess what? There was nothing to worry about. Nas Hillman went off during that game. Nas went off during that game. And Nia Coffey. Nia Coffey's been a dog too lately. And look, I don't know how everybody feels about this Atlanta Dream team. I think they can go all the way. I'll be honest with you. Nia Coffey went off during this game. She played for 26 minutes. She actually went out in the first quarter too, right? She went out in the first quarter. And listen, if y'all watching, y'all got a question about any of these games I'm talking about, drop a comment. I'll answer the question. But Nia Coffey went out in the first quarter. She looked like she was going through the same thing I saw Tahina Pow go through. Pow in the first game, in the game against the Wings, in the first quarter, Paige Beckers hits her in the eye. It looks like she hit her in the eye because after Paige Beckers grabs her thumb, right? She grabs her thumb, Tahina grabs her eye. She goes to the bench first, and then she goes out. In this particular instance, when Nia gets hit, she gets hit, grabs her eye too, and they take her straight to the back. So initially, I thought she's done. She's out, right? She won't be playing anymore. However, she wasn't even close to done. She came back the next quarter and she went off. She had a double-double in that game against the Sun, 18 points, 11 rebounds. Maya Caldwell went off again. Maya's a beast. So if you don't know about Maya Caldwell, I mean, just watch any Dream game. She got picked up last season when they needed some help. She's a beast. So Maya Caldwell, 12 points there. Nia Coffey, like I said, she went off. Alicia Gray again, 18.7 rebounds. Man, and after this game, we had a chance to talk to the coach. And actually, we talked before and after. Before the game, we asked him, how far along is this Dream team in your full vision of the team? And he said they're not like even there yet. They're not even halfway there yet to what he believes this team could be. Coach Carl Semesco has a vision for what this team will look like at the end of the day, and they're not there yet. They're not even close, and they're already up. They're 3-2 right now. They're playing very well, and they're showing me something they didn't show me last year. What is that? Well, they're showing me that, hey, we have depth. So last year when Jordan Canada goes out, they're done. Period. Last year, your center goes out, they're done. Period. Not this year. This year, BG doesn't play, no problem. 79-55, they wrap up the Connecticut Sun. Right? Now, what I like about the Sun, I'll be honest with you. Right after the game, we're headed out. Marina, I want to say Marina. If I'm saying that wrong, y'all let me know. Marbury, we're headed out, and everybody's like dapping up. She's talking, and she's cool. On the court, she ain't cool. She wasn't cool in this game. Her and Maya Caldwell kept getting into it. There was always these little, these back and forth with them. She wasn't cool on the court, but after the game, super cool. She had a great game, and she's a bucket too. I mean, she had a double-double in this game, 12 and 10. That team, this Connecticut Sun team, they're in a rebuilding phase, and it might take some time before they get to where they're trying to go. I'm just being honest with you. All right, y'all. So those are the 4 games we covered this week. We covered the first game with the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream. Both of those games this week we covered. The Dallas Wings game and the Connecticut Sun game. It was an amazing week of WNBA basketball. I loved it. And I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'll be honest with you. I don't know how I feel saying this because it feels like betrayal to me. Something about what I'm about to say feels weird, but it's true. The WNBA has my interest about as much as the NFL does during the season. Like, this wasn't me before. I'll be honest with you. Like I'm becoming more into this, but I became a somebody who was covering the Dream, and now we're there every game. We're covering the Dream, and as I'm covering the Dream more and more, I'm getting more and more into this, y'all. Like they got me. They got me. Um, I'm in. I'm invested. I'm here. And yeah, people say, "Hey man, you wasn't always here. You haven't always been here." Nah. A lot of y'all haven't been here. If you're watching anything WNBA right now, maybe you weren't here the whole time. That's fine. Welcome. And I'm saying welcome as somebody new too. So maybe somebody have to welcome me. Somebody probably watch this and be like, "Hey bro, you gotta go." Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Please do me a favor. If you're watching this long, I appreciate it. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Like I said, I'm just here right now to fill in. The four best people I know who knows the in and outs of the WNBA and the NBA, who are watching every single game. They're normally here, right here where I'm sitting right now, right? And they have a ton of personality, a ton of back and forth. They're amazing. But I'm here right now. So because I'm here, I'm filling in. And what I'm saying is I'm into this now, and I'm really into the WNBA. A lot happened with the NBA. I can't tell you nothing about it. I was covering the WNBA this week. So that's it for me. Y'all, before we leave, I do want to say something, that this show is sponsored by our amazing sponsor, Ozell Brand. Ozell Brand has been there for us for a while. I'm going to play you the commercial right before we head out.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell Brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
Shout out to Ozell Brand. Thank you so.
I will dress as Asia.
And I only bring up the Asia because the last time I got a chance, so the Dream will be playing the Los Angeles Sparks. The last time I got a chance to see Kelsey Plum, who is now with the Sparks, was when she was playing with Asia. It is going to be a great week this week as well. I don't get a chance to be in on site again for a little while. June 10th is the next time that the Atlanta Dream will be playing. But see, our WNBA correspondent, C. Monroe, she will be covering the Connecticut Sun. So next week, when the awesome people are here, right, you'll get a chance to see do her on site and talk to you about what she feels that is happening in the WNBA. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all have a phenomenal day.
Hey guys, it's your girl C, and you just watched the show on MTMV Sports Network. And if you like what you see and you want more exciting content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.